and welcome to the second recipe in the series, and today we're going to cook cream of mushroom soup with croutons. Okay? Right, firstly I'm going to heat some olive oil in this pan, and while that's warming I'll show you what ingredients you need to cook this soup. Firstly, you're going to need an onion, 2 garlic cloves, obviously both of these chopped, some mushrooms. I've used just under half a kilo for this, a stock cube. This is the same as I used the last time. This is a chicken stock cube. I find it gives the best flavour actually. You're going to need some mayonnaise, some olive oil obviously to cook the soup and to cook the croutons, and some bread for the croutons. Again, not the stuff you buy in Tesco. Some nice bread you can maybe get in Lidl. Okay? Right, I have started off with, I've cut these vegetables. I've cut the garlic and the onion. So we'll just add them now into our olive oil, and you can hear that frying away. There we go. Now we'll just let that fry for a couple of minutes and turn a nice golden brown before we add our mushrooms. Okay? So I've already cut some mushrooms here. It's really up to you how much you're going to use. As I said, I've used about just under half a kilo. This is maybe slightly less. Right, okay. So again, that's fried away quite nicely, and we're starting to get a lovely aroma here in the kitchen. I've got to say, the smell of frying onions and garlic it's got to be one of my favourite smells in the whole world. Fantastic. Right, that seems to be fried off quite nicely, and we're going to add our mushrooms. Now don't worry like this where the mushrooms seem to be overloading the pan. The mushrooms will reduce really quite dramatically. Okay, so we're just going to move that around a bit. Again, as you can hear, we're still frying here. You want to keep it on a good heat. Just keep moving it around a little. Okay. Now I do apologise, this video might be quite protracted, but I don't know how to edit the video, so you're just going to have to bear with me. Right, so while that's frying, I'll explain what we're going to do. This is going to fry, then we're going to cut some bread into our croutons, and we're going to fry that in olive oil. We're then going to add some water and our stock into our mixture here of onions, garlic and mushroom, and we're going to let that cook for maybe another 5 minutes while our croutons brown off. At that point, we're going to use a blender here, and we're going to blend it all together, and then we're going to add a spoonful of mayonnaise. You can use cream if you want. It's just a matter of personal taste. Now what I will say, this is mayonnaise that we've bought in the supermarket. It's not my preference because there's additives in it. If you like additives, obviously the supermarket mayonnaise is great, but in the next video I'll show you how to make your own mayonnaise, and I'll also show you how to make alioli. which is a garlic mayonnaise. Probably similar to a garlic dip you get in the supermarkets. Right, okay, so this is continuing to fry. Very nice. And if Mari Carmen can maybe just enfocar en esta olla, por favor. Mari Carmen's just going to focus in a little here. We can see that the mushrooms have reduced quite nicely. Okay. So, again, the same with the last recipe. When you're adding in your hot water, it must be hot. If you add cold water, you'll stop the cooking process, and that's a recipe for disaster. So here we go. Adding in the hot water, and I'm going to bring that to the boil. At the same time, I'm going to add our stock cube. Just crumble that in with your hand. Now I think one stock cube is probably enough. You can alter the taste nearer the end with some salt. Again, a matter of personal taste. So let's just mix that in. And we'll let that continue to cook while we prepare the croutons. Okay, croutons. Just take some bread and chop it into slices. And then a bit more finely into cubes. This can be as rough as you like. Again, this isn't a traditional Andalusian dish, but there are obviously many European soups where croutons are very popular. Right, there we are. I think that's probably enough. Now, to cook your croutons in a small frying pan, we'll put that there and we will apply some heat. Now the thing about the croutons, you don't want to burn them, so you need to keep your eye on the heat here. Again, a fair bit of olive oil, as I always say, don't be shy with the olive oil. It gives a lot of flavour to your dish. Just waiting for this to heat a little. I don't know if you can see, but our soup here is cooking nicely, and I'm just going to turn down the heat on that a little. Just take it down there to a simmer. Okay, I think our olive oil is now ready, so what we're going to do, take our chopped bread and just throw it all into the pan. Now what we're going to try and do here or what we are going to do with the croutons, is make sure that they all have a good coating of olive oil. This is an integral part of the dish. Apart from the flavour and the consistency that it adds, it bulks up the dish and makes it a bit more substantial. I think we probably do with a bit more heat there. Okay. Very good. Now you can probably hear that. And while that fries, we'll have another look at our soup, and at this point add a little salt. Not too much, as I say, we can adjust that again at the end of the dish. Okay, so croutons cooking away nicely, or frying I should say. Excuse my fingers, but it's me that's going to be eating it, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, now we're ready to finish off our soup. So, I'm going to turn the heat right down on this. The soup's cooked obviously, that's all it takes, 10 minutes or so. So at this point, we're going to blend our soup. Here we go. Just carry on with your blender until you have a nice smooth consistency. Move the blender round and round. Obviously try not to splash yourself like I have. And if Maricami can focus in, por favor, enfocar un poco más. And as you can see, we've got a nice mushroom colour now. Mushrooms are completely smashed to bits. Okay, I think that's probably enough of that. Now, our croutons, I would say we're just about ready. They've obviously soaked up all the olive oil. Just about ready. So we'll remove that from the heat, and the soup also. And now we're ready to add some mayonnaise. As I say, you don't want to add very much, and also, as I said, you can use cream as an alternative. That much, that's more than sufficient. Just put that into your soup. And again, back in with the blender. And blend the whole lot together. Probably enough. So we'll remove that and we're ready to serve the soup. And there we are. I wish you could taste this. And once you have your soup in your plate, add in your croutons, and there we are. A delicious soup and easy to make. Thank you.